In a few months here, we are moving into an Airstream trailer to live in. And so in this video, we wanted to update you on where we're at in that process and our thoughts on common van life options, pros and cons, and why we chose what we did. So some kind of common van life options are...
So there's the pop tent, which is not really a van life option, but more of just an adventure option. The other one is like a sprinter van or an RV, which is probably the most common that we've seen. But we didn't go with those options either. We went with the option of a trailer, specifically the Airstream base camp.
Mm-hmm. One thing that really impacted our decision between like a sprinter van, live-in van, and a trailer is just the fact that like if you have a van, if you put a couple 100,000 miles on that van, like you have to basically get a new van.
Yeah, and when you get a new van, you're not just paying for a new van, you're paying for all the work that needs to be done to create it into another tiny home.
Mm-hmm. With the Airstream, you can just get a new car after 5-10 years and keep pulling the same Airstream if you wanted.
And if something happens on the home side of things, we can leave that trailer somewhere and drive to a hotel if needed. So the Airstream that you think of is the classic round one that everyone sees, and within that there's different lengths and different levels of it. They have trailers anywhere from 16 feet all the way up to 33 feet.
Yeah.
So definitely a wide range, but what they came out with recently is the Airstream base camp.
Mm-hmm. And the base camp, at first they just came out with a 16-foot, and now this year they came out with a 20-foot model. And what's different about the base camp is it looks a little bit different than what you're used to, but it still has that aluminum kind of classic exterior.
Yeah, it's a lot more boxy, so it doesn't have that classic curved like sausage shape almost to it. It's a little bit boxier, and the back goes up.
Yeah, and that's really what's special about the base camp is the back is lifted so that you can do a little bit more off-roading. You can take it to some places where the traditional Airstream trailer might not be able to make it because it has that raised clearance in the back.
It's a little bit more meant for exploring and going to not traditional campgrounds and parking lots and things like that.
Mm-hmm. So a few reasons why we decided on the Base Camp 20, which is the model that we're going with. We toured a 16-foot. We saw it in person, and it just felt a little small to me.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit small. The Base Camp, to our surprise, is actually less expensive than the classic models. I'm still not sure why.
So as we already mentioned, we spent months kind of researching all of this, and actually at first we were very set on the like sprinter van idea. And then it kind of just evolved and changed, and the more we researched, the more we kind of, as we've already said in this video, narrowed it down and decided that we actually wanted to go with the Airstream, the base camp. And so we spent months researching, and then once we decided that we wanted the Airstream, we went to an Airstream dealership and actually toured some of the ones they had on the lot there, just so we could get a sense for like the feeling, what the interior is like, what could we make work, and really we challenged ourselves to think like, could I comfortably live in this for extended periods of time, not just like a 2-day trip.
The one downside to getting the base camp is that it's not customized. It's gonna look the same as everyone else's. We don't get to say what color we want things and whatnot. But our thought behind that is we'll live in it for a little bit. As time goes on, we'll make whatever adjustments we need to make. Maybe get new cushions for the couch or something. And then in the long run, because we plan to have it even when we're not living on the road full time, if we wanted, we could gut it and make it a true little customized home.
Totally. And so then after we researched and toured, we contacted our local dealership here in Seattle. We put in our deposit in January of 2021. About a month or two later, they got back to us and said that it will be delivered in September of 2021. I'm super excited about it. We are going to keep our apartment here in Seattle as kind of like a home base, but I'm sure we'll be living in the Airstream most of the time.
Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe so you can follow us along on this journey.